So Sony has announced that they're going to be integrating their PlayStation Now service with their PlayStation Plus subscription. And with that, they're going to allow access to PlayStation 1, 2, and PlayStation 3 games on the PlayStation 5. Now, we don't have much details at this time while I'm filming this video, but what we do know is the fact that PlayStation 3 games are going to be streamed while PS1 and PS2 games are presumed to be downloadable. Now, despite that, I decided to pick up a PlayStation 3 Slim console in 2022. Here's why I think you should do the same, and I'm going to show you some of the games that I picked up with it. So let's talk briefly about the PlayStation 3. So I actually was lucky enough to actually get a launch model of the PlayStation 3 when it came out. Now, there was a lot of controversy during that time. The PlayStation 3 was actually very, very expensive, but with the use of some gift cards and some money that I saved up, I decided to purchase the PlayStation 3. And the main thing that I liked about it was the fact that it was going to bring gaming into high definition. PlayStation 3 was pretty much the start of Sony's high definition venture. With that, they were kind of pushing the new standard, which was Blu-ray, which has now become the ultimate standard for all kinds of movies. And on top of all of that, Sony PlayStation 3 also offered free online play. Now, do you remember what it was like to have free online play? Well, PS3 was the first one to implement something like that. So because of that, I have a lot of nostalgia for the actual PlayStation 3. Now, the PlayStation 3 itself went through many different variants. There was the fat original launch model of the PlayStation 3, which I did make a video about in the past, so you can definitely check it out. But one of my favorite variants was the slim model. Now, essentially what this did is that it removed the PlayStation 3's ability to be able to play PlayStation 2 games. It can still play PS1 games natively, but it was just overall a sleeker console, a lot quieter, and just it kind of optimized the appearance as well as the entire function of the PlayStation 3 console. So this is by far one of my favorite console iterations of the PlayStation 3. So let's get to the why. Why did I purchase the PlayStation 3 in 2022 after Sony has already announced that there's going to be an optimized way to play these games on the PlayStation 5? Well, it's because since I grew up playing the PlayStation 3, I actually have a decent sized physical library of some of the games that I grew up with, and I have a lot of memories attached to. And I wanted a reliable way to be able to play my PS3 games, and because the PlayStation 3 is an HD console and utilizes HDMI, which is the same format we still utilize till this day, I want to be able to plug in a PlayStation 3 and use any of the games that I want. Now, at this point, we don't know what kind of library is going to be chosen by Sony. We don't know what kind of games are going to be playable on the PlayStation 5 using the service. And all we know so far is the fact that PS3 games will not even be able to be downloaded. So you're going to have to stream them. And that might cause issues when it comes to internet connection and internet speeds and lag and all these kinds of things. And for that reason, I just want to have a reliable way to be able to play the PlayStation 3 games that I enjoy the way they were meant to be played, by just putting it into the console and just playing them. So I not only picked up the console, but of course I picked up some video games that I did not have in my collection and games that I genuinely wanted to try and play. So let's go over some of the games that I picked up with this PlayStation 3 console. Starting off first, let's talk about the Sly Cooper Collection. Now, I've actually never played a Sly Cooper game, and I know this is pretty much a Sony exclusive, and this is pretty much locked away also to the PlayStation 3 console. Now, the Sly Cooper series, I think, started on the PS2. I heard a lot of good things about it, but I never tried it out myself. This collection actually includes all three of the Sly Cooper games in HD, and like I said, this is something that's still exclusive to the PS3. Now, will this be playable on the PS Now? I think it might actually already be playable on the PS Now, but it's good to kind of own this collection. The price of this also, by the way, is going up. And right now is a good time to pick up PS3 games because you can probably get them for a little bit cheaper. So this is one of the games that I picked up for not too bad of a price. Next, I picked up another collection. Collections were quite popular with the PS3 because a lot of the PS2 games were being brought over and put together in HD. I picked up the Jak and Daxter collection. Now, I've also never played a Jak and Daxter game, so this includes Jak and Daxter 1, 2, and 3. I don't really know much about these characters, but I know it's another iconic Sony franchise. I think it's developed by Naughty Dog, so I'm going to definitely check this one out. Now, next, I picked up one of Sony's launch console games, Motorstorm. Now, this game, I think I did play the playable demo. Back then, demos used to be free, and demos were quite a normal thing. And this game was actually pretty cool for the time, and it's just cool to have one of the launch titles for the PS3, Motorstorm, which is pretty much an arcade racing game. Really cool game, never owned it, so I decided to pick it up. Now, next is another game that's pretty much locked away on the PS3, and it's a game that I've never played before, actually. Again, I might have just played the demo. That's Resistance. Now, Resistance is like a whole trilogy, and this is just Resistance 1. So I've never played this game before, but I know it's a first-person shooter. I remember from the demo there's some kind of aliens, but this is another staple that a lot of people talk about, a lot of hype behind this series, and again, it's locked away on the PS3. Now, these games are classic, and I've played them before on the PS2. I own them on the PS2, but this was the HD collection bringing together the God of War collection, God of War 1 and God of War 2. Now, these games are pretty much the genesis of Kratos and the story of God of War. Very different than the 2018 God of War, but this is another big Sony exclusive game. Fun games to just play. I found it for the cheap. Nowadays, you can get these games for really cheap if you look online, especially if you go onto stores. You can get them even cheaper if you find them at like a thrift store. So right now might be a good time to pick up PS3 games. And lastly, I was a big fan when I was younger of the Marvel vs. Capcom series, especially in the arcade. This is Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I never played this game, never owned this game. I was able to find it for really cheap, and because of that, I decided to pick it up. Now, I just had to throw this in there. Honorable mention, not something I picked up now. This is actually my original copy. This is Metal Gear Solid 4. Metal Gear being one of my favorite franchises. Metal Gear Solid 4 is pretty much locked away on the PS3. Has never seen a remake, never seen a remaster, and it's one of the best PlayStation 3 games, and it's locked away on the console. So definitely, if you pick up a PS3, definitely check it out. Now, I think honestly, this is the right time. Given the prices, and the prices are going to spike up again, this is the right time to actually pick up PS3 games and even pick yourself up a PS3 console. Let me know your thoughts down below, and thanks for watching.